Another topic I want to talk to you with about is the year where you quit all sweets. And that to me is really impressive because you look around at the type of shit people are eating, bro, and it's kind of sad, right? As someone who has gone a year without eating sweets, it's probably as applicable to you as anyone else, right? But I think I do agree that one of the biggest problems today is unhealthy food, right? I heard the stat that someone today is more likely to die binging at McDonald's than from a famine, right? The number of deaths from obesity has crossed the number of deaths from famine. And to anyone who doesn't know, like famine has been a significant problem for pretty much all of our history. Like we're blessed to have so much food, but our bodies weren't designed to live in abundance. They're designed to live in scarcity, which is why quitting sugar is the hardest thing in the world. But seems you're able to do it. So talk to me through some of the motivations that of why you decided to go a year without eating sugar and some of the challenges you faced along the way.
Well, I want to start off by saying that although eating or not eating sugar for a year is pretty impressive, I think it's like even more impressive to like not eat meat as you do. And let's not downplay like how interested you are in nutrition as well. Like we started the nutrition club together. But yeah, so back to the sweets thing. In my sophomore year, I decided to cut out anything sweet from my diet. That meant like no cookies, no fruit juice. Uh like honestly, I didn't even eat like really like bready, like carbohydratey kind of foods either. And it's a lot harder than you think because if you go down the list of things you eat in a day, like in the breakfast, typically before then I would have like some cereal, no more. Like maybe a muffin with it. I didn't get that anymore. And during lunch, I always got like a glass of apple juice. So I replaced that with water for that year. And during dinner, when they have dessert, they bring out like a cake or ice cream, whatever. I couldn't have that either. And you know, the reason I started doing that was like two reasons. First of all, I know that processed sugary foods are not good for you. And um although I wasn't like fat or obese at the time, I knew that like cutting it out could have like good benefits for your body. And so the second reason is that like I was really inspired by my dad, the way that he quit smoking like that. I wanted to see if I could do something similar to challenge myself. So that year, I dedicated myself to not eating sugar. I was curious if I had the same willpower as him. Um, so at first it was like pretty hard, obviously. I was starting to realize like so many foods have sugar, like so much more than you would think. Almost everything has sugar, honestly. Um, But after a while, it got a lot easier. And I think that's both the consistency thing and also something like physiological in your body, where if you don't get sugar, your body doesn't crave sugar anymore. Like I read this study a long time ago. I don't like recall it off the top of my head anymore, but like sugar can be an addiction. The more you eat sugar, the more you want more sugar. Just like the more you smoke, the more you want to smoke. And so after quitting sugar for like around a month or 2 months, like I didn't even want sugar anymore. It kind of disgusted me. When I saw like ice cream, I loved ice cream before. I loved apple juice before. And I love apple juice right now. I eat sugar now. But like I really love apple juice. It's been like my favorite drink ever. But during that year, after the first couple of months, it disgusted me. Like when I saw apple juice, when I saw other people drinking apple juice, and when I saw other people eating ice cream and cookies and stuff, I didn't want to have it. Like it kind of disgusted me. It's like seeing a food that you don't normally want to eat.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about that exact concept. So I went the entire summer without eating sugar. So I pretty much cut out all processed food. I was just eating my mom's home cooked food, and it was like probably the best I've ever felt. But I was going to ask you because what happened to me within a few weeks is that I started to feel an insane disgust toward everything processed. Like I'd walk in the supermarket and I'd look at like the Pop-Tarts and I'm like, why do people eat this? Like, and I still feel that way about like certain sweets and shit. It's like I used to love eating sweets and I grew up eating a lot of sweets, but there's this interesting mental revelation you go through. It's like you're pulled out of the box, like you're living in this box and you think this is all you see, and you're pulled out of the box and you look at the sugar for what it is, and then you start to think about the fact that this was made in like a factory and it's not real and it's like
Yeah.
disgusting. And you see people munching on their bars for breakfast. Like that's how you guys start your day with the fucking like Gatorade protein bar, which has 26 grams of fucking sugar. Like it's crazy. And I went a while without eating sugar. I eat now. I wouldn't say I eat anything processed at all, but
Mm.
for breakfast at Petty, I do occasionally throw in like if they have pancakes, I might eat like a pancake or two, or if they have French toast, I might. So I'm not saying I'm as disciplined as I was before, but I besides that, I've been pretty good about it. But then I will notice something. During wrestling season, my craving for sugar came back,
Mm.
which is very
Me
interesting
too.
because it only happens on wrestling meets. And I thought about that for a while. Why? At first, I ate like one day I just leaned into my desire and I ate the Gatorade bar and I felt so bad for it because I knew like this is so bad for me. But every time there's before wrestling match, I craved it. I'm like, why? Like, but then I started to realize that it makes sense when you're about to go do something very difficult, when you're stressed, like you're kind of in that primal state, like you're about to go fight,
Mm.
your body craves sugar because you need sugar is like in general a good thing for you, right?
Yeah.
And in the environment, it's pretty rare to get sugar,
Yeah.
which is why you crave it because it's scarce. And whenever if there's a large amount of sugar, your body would crave it so they can like store it, right?
Mm.
It wasn't meant to be living in a world where it's like there's so much sugar around you. But yeah, I realized that before wrestling meets, I had the desire, and I often indulge, and I'll have a Gatorade bar or something. Which is really, have you felt the same way?
So that's actually really interesting because I do feel the same way. And recently I learned why we feel that way in anatomy, which is that during periods of stress, like your body releases stress hormones that actually make you want to eat sugar. And if you think about it, that makes a lot of sense because if you're trying to escape somebody or um like flee or something afterwards, you're gonna be like really hungry because you just burnt so much of your energy. And oh, something else I want to touch on, back to like being disgusted about sugar. There's this funny story that my girlfriend told me, which is that she always ate like Korean food, which isn't super strong in like sugar or spices or actually there's a lot of spices, but like not really strong in sugar, right? So the first time she ever ate a Rice Krispie treat, like she threw up, which is like insane to me because being raised in America as a kid, I'm exposed to sweets everywhere. There's like I love Rice Krispies and stuff like that. So it's just insane.
If you enjoyed that clip, then click here to see the full, unedited length podcast. Make sure you click here to see the full podcast, and don't forget to like and subscribe.